One of the most unpleasant things when it comes to dealing with toxic family members is how critical they are of you. Now, of course, no one likes criticism, but when it comes to toxic family members, a defining feature is that they're excessively critical. And the reason that they're so critical is not only to boost their own egos, which are actually quite fragile, and we'll get into that another time, but they also are looking for what they call supply, which means they get a certain charge out of being able to get a reaction out of you. And that's exactly what they're after. And they do it by being critical on purpose with that motive. And it's easy to tell that when you think about it, because the digs they take are really low blows. They basically try to undermine and attack your self-esteem. Their favorite things to put you down about are either to imply or insinuate or directly say that you have some kind of a mental problem and that something is fundamentally wrong with you. They lump that in with saying that you're too sensitive. If you've been told by family members that you're too sensitive, that should be a red flag. Because the reason that abusive family members like to say that you're too sensitive, it's their way of putting it on you. There's nothing too sensitive about being intolerant of verbal and emotional abuse and excessive criticism as a pervasive and dominant pattern of their communication with you is abuse. So besides questioning your mental and emotional health, and they really want you to start to question it yourself, they also question your character. And the way they like to question your character is to make accusations that are kind of intangible things that you can't really argue about or prove. So if someone's trying to say you're selfish, or you don't care, or you don't think about anybody but yourself, or you're ungrateful, and other such things, those are things that really can't be proven or argued against. And then, thirdly, besides questioning your mental and emotional health and stability and your character, they also like to criticize you in ways that draw your competence into question. The way they like to do that is to put undue focus on any of your failings. And we've all had those because no one's perfect. But any mistakes that you've made, any time that you've shown poor judgment, or had anything in your life where you had to learn some lessons, at least you probably grew from it. Toxic people never grow or learn from their experience. But they like to put the focus on any failures or mistakes. The other interesting, I say that with quotes, interesting thing that toxic and abusive narcissistic family members like to do is to sometimes guise these criticisms as if they're just quote unquote trying to help. So if besides being told you're too sensitive, you're used to hearing that we're just trying to help, that's a red flag for you. Sometimes, I know from my own experience, it takes a while to really call it what it is. I always knew that something was wrong, but I never fully acknowledged that my father and my brother were actually not just that something was off, but they were actually abusive. Excessive criticism is abuse. I hope that helped you.